Does Zepbound really work, or is all of that just hype? I'm here to tell you what I've learned in my first 30 days of taking Zepbound. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheryl Lynn and I am on a journey of wellness through a clinical trial at the Cleveland Clinic Institute of Bariatrics. So welcome, I'm glad that you're here. I'm here to talk about some issues with Zepbound and what I've heard, some myths if you will, and what's worked for me, some tips and tricks. So, does Zepbound really work? Well, I'll start it out with why I even started taking Zepbound to begin with. Yes, I'm on a journey to wellness, but I have been overweight and struggling for a very long time. I am a mother of 7, and I was weighed down by not just my physical weight, but the depression and the embarrassment that comes with being overweight. So while you're heavy, I already I was reclusive and I stayed in and I didn't participate and I didn't involve myself because I didn't want to be out there, to be made fun of, to be stared at. As a human in general, people like to judge by how we look and our appearance. And we all know this. I see it on the daily. I see it on replies and comments on posts and people who are trying to be confident in who they are. And people always have something to say. And while I know people will continue to judge me, even if I'm thin, for whatever reason they may have, I wanted to feel confident, but I also wanted to have the energy and the health to be able to do activities with my family. I didn't want to be that mom who sits on the sidelines and watches my whole children's lives go by while I did nothing to help facilitate that or participate. So that is why I started Zepbound. And so I'm here to debunk some of the Zepbound myths, and I'm going to share with you what actually worked for me and things that are true from my own experience. So one of the first things I've heard, a myth if you will, so we'll say myth number 1, is that Zepbound is a magic pill. There is no magic pill. There may be, I haven't found it yet, and this is an injection thus far, although a pill is coming down the pike. I have to put in the work daily. No different than surgery, no different than anyone who's not taking medications. I feel like it's no different than any other supplement that helps people on their health journeys, whether it be creatine, testosterone, or whatever someone is taking to help them. So it is not a magic pill. I have to make sure that I'm eating right. I have to make sure that I'm exercising. I have to make sure that I'm doing all the things that help me stay on track to lose weight, because there are people who are on this journey who do not succeed or do as well as they had hoped because they can't implement those habits. So what it did do for me, it wasn't a magic pill. It took away that extra craving. It took away that inability to say no or stop. Now I have the ability to say enough's enough and it can be out of my head. Whereas before, if I'd want to stop, it was like a yankering in my brain, wanting me to, forcing me, if you will, to continue or to get what I wanted. I could not say no. It was a drug. It truly was a drug. And I struggled with that. So it's not a magic pill. I have done a lot for my own health to lose the weight. Myth number 2, you're sick all the time. I'm not sick all the time. Other people may be. Some of the things that can cause illness are the way we're eating, not changing those eating habits, not switching to a healthy diet, not staying hydrated, not moving around and exercising, going up in dose too quickly. That's another thing. So I don't feel like you're sick all the time. I have been on the 2.5 milligram dose now. This is my 3rd box of 4 injections at the 2.5 milligram dose. I just started that. I did take 1 box of 5 milligram injections and I was sick all the time and I lost less weight. The 2 previous boxes of 2.5 milligram injections, I had lost over 10 pounds. The 5 milligram box, I lost under 10 pounds. And I do think that it's because I felt sick all the time. And I was nervous that my blood sugar may be dropping because I felt shaky and weak all the time. And so I was eating constantly, trying to help myself feel better. But I think I was just doing myself a disservice, to be honest with you, now that I've learned more about it. So I went back to the 2.5 milligrams and I feel amazing. Initially, you do feel that nausea and that aversion to food. Sometimes things you liked before, you don't like anymore. So that's a common side effect, or like if you put it in your mouth, it makes you want to gag. That's a very common side effect, especially in the beginning. Constipation is very real. Diarrhea is very real. And just trying to learning over the time what you can and can't do and what will help prevent those issues. But I am by no means sick all the time. And I am on my 4th box of injections, 3rd box of the 2.5 milligrams. And I have to attribute that to things I've learned to do and not do. Like I drink my cup of water. This is 40 ounces. I drink at least 2 of these every day, if not more. I always make sure I'm getting electrolytes in some form. And I make sure that the foods I eat are not fatty and heavy carb laden and not processed. I really try to eat the basic things that I like often, and I can avoid that sickness. Myth number 3 is, along with that Zepbound stops you from enjoying food. No. Initially, perhaps. When you move up in dose, perhaps. But once you've taken that medication, I can still enjoy all the same foods I once could, but I know how to eat it in moderation. And it's learning that balance, that fine balance. But initially I did struggle. I could not stand cheese, and I love cheese. Didn't like peanut butter. I love peanut butter. Couldn't eat those things initially. While they're high in fats and not the best for you, I can eat them now in moderation and enjoy them. The other day I went out with my family. We had ice cream, and I got peanut butter ice cream, which is my favorite, with peanut butter drizzled on top. I got a small and I didn't even finish it, but it was enough that I was able to enjoy my time with my family, have the treats I've always loved, and continue about my day. So no, Zepbound does not stop you from enjoying the foods that you love. It may take a little while, but you can overcome that and you can still enjoy the foods you once did. But it's important to be mindful of that and be mindful of how you got in this place to begin with, and making sure that we have balance and moderation in the foods that we consume. So myth number 4 is that Zepbound is only for the extremely obese people. That's so not true. Morbidly obese people oftentimes are referred to this medication, and that's why I'm in this clinical trial, to see how it compares to that of surgery. However, you can have a BMI of 30 and get these injections, or even 27 if you have a health-related condition such as diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, those types of things. So it's not just for the extremely obese. While I'm 5'5" and I was 250 pounds, which is by no means thin, it's also not extremely morbidly obese. It is considered morbidly obese according to the BMI, but it's not. It can be anybody who's struggling with weight. And so I want you to remember that if you are struggling with your health and your weight and you feel that you may not be a candidate, but you really want to give this a try, talk to your provider. They would know if this is a good option for you, or if not, what can help you to become successful in your health journey. And then last but not least, myth number 5. So myth number 5 is that we should not take Zepbound unless we're a diabetic, and we should save the medications for them. I say that's a myth because most diabetics, let's just say type 2 diabetics, most type 2 diabetics are in the boat they're in and taking these medications because of diet or their lifestyles. One of the two, most oftentimes, is the reason for type 2 diabetes. Now, not always, so no offense to anybody, and I'm not here to offend anybody, but I want you to think about this logically. If we can take this medication to help prevent diabetes, how is it any different than taking this medication if you have diabetes? Either way, it's helping the disease process or what could come about. I had polycystic ovarian syndrome and I was pre-diabetic. So had I continued on my journey of eating how I wanted, not exercising, those types of things, it's very possible that I would have become a diabetic and been prescribed this medication for diabetes anyway. or medication like it. And so me getting on the ball, realizing I have to make a change now before I become a diabetic, I think is a very positive thing. And we should be encouraging health changes beforehand. My goal is not to stay on Zepbound forever. And I hope to be able to implement the lifestyle that I need to maintain, to be able to be healthy throughout the rest of my life and no longer need medications. There are various reasons why we as people resort to food instead of any other thing for comfort. And working through that, and I encourage therapy, counseling, nutrition therapy, classes, those types of things. As a nurse, I know what is good for me and what I should be taking, and I could not get myself to do it. And I'll do a video on that about how anxiety contributed to my weight gain, because that was a big, huge factor, which sounds bizarre. But when I explain that, you'll understand more. But we don't know anyone's story, and we don't know why they're struggling. So if you're struggling with your health and your weight and all of those types of things, talk to your provider. They can show you and help you along the way as to what would be most beneficial for you as a person. So over the past 30 days, I wanted to talk about a few things that I've learned or my progress. So first of all, I lost over 30 pounds in my first 30 days, which is amazing to me. I never thought that I would ever get out of this redundant start a diet, fail, lose some weight, gain back more. Never thought I'd get out of that. So losing over 30 pounds is a huge success. Quickly on my way to losing 40. I realized that you don't necessarily have to go up in dose. Talk to your provider, see what they think. I thought I had to, I didn't have to, and I'm doing great on the lowest dose. I feel better than I ever have. Probably not when I was a kid or before I had obesity, but I feel better than I have in a very, very long time, as long as I can remember in my adult life. Another great thing is, and it's a no scale victory, is I fit some of my old clothes that I wanted to get rid of but had hoped I'd get back into. I fit back into those clothes now. How exciting is that? That I never thought I would. And my current clothes are getting quite baggy on me. And that's a dilemma of its own. People at work and around me in my social groups are noticing weight loss, which is good. We sometimes don't see it and we feel like we're still as big as we once were, but people are noticing it, and that always feels good, and it reaffirms the hard work you're putting in. I'm learning that this is a progress. There is no quick fix. I didn't just gain all this weight and expect to lose it overnight. That's my mentality before. If the scale only went down a pound, I was depressed. Now I'm okay. I'm okay if it goes down a half a pound. I'm not happy if it stays the same or if I've gained, which has I only gained once over this journey since taking the shot. I'm not happy about that, but I understand it, and I understand that it's going to take time. And I see how far I've come since I started this journey, and I'm thankful that I continued and stuck with it. And the last thing I want to talk about is how it changed my mindset. I now understand balance, that I don't have to eat the whole thing because I took one bite, or that I can't have things and deprive myself completely. I understand balance and the need for that to be successful. Those are huge. So I just want to give you a couple tips to help you stay consistent on your journey. So the first tip I'd like to give you is to track your food. Track your macros, track your protein, track your nutrients, track your fluid intake. Those are all very important to help keep you successful, because we do forget, we do get busy throughout the day. We do realize that we do need to take in those nutrients and nutrient-dense foods. The other thing is to stay hydrated. Make sure that you're drinking. That is so crucial and important. Make sure you're staying hydrated. You'll feel better. It'll help your progress. It'll help your weight loss journey. Make sure you're taking in those fluids. Find foods that you enjoy eating and stick with them. That is what I do. I have found a few foods that I stick with and I don't deviate. Every single morning for breakfast, I eat a 000 vanilla yogurt with a handful of blueberries and a handful of crushed or chopped walnuts or pecans. One of the two, and I mix it up and I eat it. It is so good. I actually look forward to it. It's like my morning treat, and it's full of nutrients, high in protein, and I eat it every single morning. Sometimes I eat it even before bed too. It's that good. So I eat that. Beef jerky. I like the Chomps beef jerky. There's not a lot of stuff in there that I can't pronounce. It's very healthy and it's high in protein. It's a nice snack. So finding those snacks and those foods that work for you and sticking with them. I deviate slightly daily. And I do allow myself the things I enjoy within balance, but I really try to stick with what I eat that I know is going to work and remain consistent. And lastly, is join a community of like-minded people. If you are on a GLP-1 journey, such as Zepbound or Ozempic, join a community that's on that same journey. A community like Child of Triumph. Join those communities because we're all here taking this journey together, and we all may have experiences similar or insight that could help you along your journey. So make sure you're joining those communities and getting into those groups so that you can have more information and support through your journey. Lastly, like and subscribe. That's how you can stay in the know on all these things that are going on in my journey and really be in this involvement of this clinical trial with me. And then if there's anything you'd like me to cover, any content you would like to see on this channel, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to see what you want to know about. I gladly will share it with you. If you have any questions or concerns or thoughts, and I'd love to just go over those things. So thanks again for coming and hanging out with me today. I hope your day is blessed. I'm about to go out with my family to an animal park and see it's a rescue animal park. So it's really, really nice for us. We do it all the time. And this is the first time I'll be able to go and feel a little better in my skin. So love yourself, support yourself. Thanks for coming along, and I'll see you on the next one.